We'll just wait for 10 seconds for everyone who was waiting in the waiting room to come in, and then we can start. Uh, I think we are good to start. Good evening, everyone, and very, very warm welcome to our first session of Wealth Alpha series, brought to you in partnership with our dear friends Cafe Mutual. This series represents our shared vision to create a powerful and practical learning platform, for our community, which is mutual fund distributors, a place where we bring some of the brightest entrepreneurial minds to share lessons of scaling smarter, deepening client relationships, and future proofing advisory businesses in an AI powered world. And today we begin with a truly exceptional speaker, a founder whose journey perfectly reflects today's theme: building, breaking, and rebuilding. A leader who built at scale, navigated adversities, reinvented himself, and emerged stronger with insights that will resonate with every entrepreneur like yourself on this call. So, our guest today needs very little introduction. And for me personally, this is a very special one because Darpan is also a very dear friend. Darpan Sanghvi is the founder of Co-Founder Circle, a judge on one of my favorite Hotstar shows, Pitch to Get Rich, and one of the most recognized names in India, D2C and consumer tech ecosystem. He founded Good Glam Group, scaled it to a unicorn status, built a massive house of brands, navigated one of the toughest downturns in the sector, which it has seen, and then rebuilt again with sharper clarity and purpose. Few founders understand the mechanics of scale as deeply as he does: the brand building, the systems, the burn, the breakthroughs, and the bounce backs. Darpan, it's a privilege to host you, my dear friend, today. And thank you for taking time out.
Amit, thank you for having me.
Great. So Darpan, let me start with the first question is, what does building, breaking, rebuilding personally mean to you?
Hi everybody. And Amit, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sorry, कुछ light I think आ रहा है मेरे face पे, but I hope it's okay. I just realized that. Uh, Guys, on this call I think हमारे पास काफी friends हैं यहाँ पर. Everybody here is an entrepreneur, right? सब यहाँ पर अपने business बना रहे हैं. And जो आपने कहा, what is building, breaking, rebuilding? I think everybody here will relate. It is our life. That is the life of an entrepreneur. कभी लाइफ एक डायरेक्शन में जाती ही नहीं है. लाइफ गोज लाइक दिस, फिर कभी ऐसे, फिर कभी ऐसे, फिर कभी ऐसे. इट्स अबाउट रियलाइजिंग दैट. एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई रियलाइज्ड with my experience with what has happened with me. If I go through the three phases, building phase is about, तब वो हमारी ambition होती है. And with that ambition we have speed. Go run, let's create one small victory. एक नया client मिला, एक नई victory मिली, आज revenue ऊपर गया, अरे मैंने इसे close किया, नया idea आया, चलो ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, उसके साथ partnership करते हैं. Go. That is building. Breaking is जब आप building में इतने, कहते हैं ना, घोड़े पे सवार होके इतना जब तेज भाग रहे हैं आप, एंड उस टाइम पे वो आगे क्या है दिख नहीं रहा, जो डेंजर सिग्नल्स हैं कि क्या आप बहुत ज्यादा भाग रहे हो, आर यू मिसिंग आउट ऑन समथिंग, दैट इज व्हेन द ब्रेकिंग हैपेंस. बट जब ब्रेकिंग होती है उस टाइम पर, ब्रेकिंग शुड बी इज द टाइम फॉर मैक्सिमम ऑनेस्टी विथ योर सेल्फ. यू हैव टू टेक, जब ब्रेकिंग होता है आदमी उस टाइम पे, हम सबका दिमाग, एंड आई एम श्योर यहाँ पर जितने भी लोग हैं, एवरीबडी हैज गॉन थ्रू दीज मोमेंट्स इन लाइफ व्हेन ब्रेकिंग होता है, राइट? एंड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, टेकिंग दैट पॉज एंड बीइंग ऑनेस्ट विथ योर सेल्फ कि व्हाट वेंट रॉन्ग, एंड बीइंग ऑनेस्ट विथ कि हमारी क्या गलती थी, नॉट दूसरों की क्या गलती थी, नॉट कि एनवायरमेंट कितना चेंज हुआ, नॉट कि डाउनटर्न आया, हमने क्या गलत किया. दैट इज वॉट इज ब्रेकिंग अबाउट। एंड जब आप उस फेज के थ्रू जाते हो एंड यू मूव टू द नेक्स्ट फेज, क्योंकि इफ यू हैव रियली बिन ऑनेस्ट व्हेन यू ब्रोकन, जब ब्रेकिंग होती है तो ही आप रीबिल्डिंग ठीक से कर सकते हो। एंड द रीबिल्डिंग फेज इज अबाउट, इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट परसिवियरेंस। परसिवियरेंस तो चाहिए हम सब में, अगर परसिवियरेंस नहीं होगी तो यहाँ पर जितने भी लोग हैं वहां खड़े आज खड़े नहीं होते यहाँ पर। बट विथ परसिवियरेंस इट विल गिव यू द फोकस। तो अगर मैं सोचूं इन अ ब्रॉड थॉट, बिल्डिंग, ब्रेकिंग, रीबिल्डिंग ये हम सबकी लाइफ है। एंड इस लाइफ में हर एक स्टेज में द वे वी रिएक्ट विथ इट और व्हाट characteristics of ours come to the forefront is what changes and hopefully propels the next stage. इसमें मैं एक और चीज कहूंगा आप सबसे, बिल्डिंग फेज इज होपफुली अबाउट सक्सेस। बिल्डिंग फेज इज आप ट्राई कर रहे हैं, सोच रहे हैं, एक्सिक्यूट कर रहे हैं एंड थिंग्स आर वर्किंग आउट। बिल्डिंग फेज इज अबाउट सक्सेस। उस टाइम पे याद रखिए, मेहनत हम पूरी 100% करते हैं, बट सक्सेस इज 20% योर मेहनत, 80% क्योंकि कोई ऊपर बैठा है और उसने उस टाइम सोचा है कि आपका टाइम आ रहा है। ये याद रखिए कि बिल्डिंग में डोंट लेट द सक्सेस गो टू योर हेड। Remember, building, you just keep working, and remember, when you get success, success is 20% you, 80% destiny. But जब breaking होती है, I would reverse the equation. When you are failing and when you have failed, and वो हम सब के साथ होने ही वाला है, राइट? और सक्सेस भी हम सब के साथ होगी ही होगी। कब होगी हमारे हाथ में नहीं है, वो टाइमिंग के हाथ में है, हमें बस we just have to keep at it. Similarly, at some point failure might happen. For some people failure happens first and then success comes. For some people success comes first and then failure comes. But जब failure होती है, याद रखो, failure is 80% your decisions, 20% timing, environment, destiny beyond your control. अगर ये फॉर्मूला के साथ आपने अपने आप को बिल्ड करें, एंड ये फॉर्मूला देखो यार, कभी शुरुआत से हमें पता नहीं होता, ये जब हम व्हेन दीज सर्कमस्टेंसेस कम एंड यू लिव लाइफ, दैट्स व्हेन यू रियली स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस। बट द डे यू अंडरस्टूड दिस, यू आर रेडी फॉर रीबिल्डिंग। क्योंकि इस बार जब आपको सक्सेस आएगी रीबिल्डिंग के साथ, आप अपने हर डिसीजन को इतना केयरफुली वे करोगे कि चाहे आप घोड़े पे सवार हो एंड कितने तेज जा रहे हो, आपको पता है कि भाई आगे का रास्ते में जरा संभाल के जाता हूं मैं, अब मैं एक लेवल पे पहुंच गया हूं, क्योंकि मेरा हर डिसीजन यहां से इज माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इफ थिंग्स गो रॉन्ग। तो आई वुड जस्ट ऐड दिस वन मोर थिंग कि ये 20-80-80-20 रूल अगर हम अप्लाई कर दें, 20-80, 20% you when it comes to success, 80-20 failure, 80% you when it comes to failure. I think we are all ready then for that next stage.
Thanks, Darpan. This is like fantastic perspective. And every one of us who are in financial services, we are used to word 80-20 very much, right? Our returns and everything is in a similar equation. But, whatever you said, one follow-on question on that is, what were your biggest lessons, you learned from the rise and the downturn of Good Glam? Because I've seen you, I've known you for, since the time you have been building Good Glam, I've seen you with Serena Williams launching a brand, first Indian to do that, and also certain other brands which you were the first ones to do it. And from those days to falling, one thing I appreciate a lot and admired a lot about you is your temperament, So now probably thinking what you said in your first answer, I can relate with it. But anything else you would like to add, which were the biggest lessons, in both your highs and your lows?
I think lots of lessons, right? We have lessons every day in what we are doing. Uh, अगर मैं देखूं, when you are building, right? I think building phase का सबसे बड़ा lesson ये है कि you have to show up every day. And वो कहते हैं ना, अपना टाइम आएगा, वो टाइम कब आएगा वो आपके हाथ में नहीं है, बट रोज आप करते रहो। रोज हम लोग सर ऑन्टरप्रनर, आप सब ऑन्टरप्रनर हो, आप रोज ट्राई कर रहे हो क्लाइंट्स के लिए, नए क्लाइंट्स के लिए, या एग्जिस्टिंग क्लाइंट्स को कैसे और बेटर आप प्रपोजल्स दें, उनको बेटर कम्युनिकेट करें, राइट? एंड रोज हमें आइडिया आता है कि ये ट्राई करेंगे, राइट? सारे आइडिया काम नहीं करते, एंड यू जस्ट हैव टू कीप एट इट। वॉट आई रियलाइज वॉज दैट वो जो हम जो एवरी डे द वर्क वी आर डूइंग इन द बिल्डिंग फेज, एवरी डे द वर्क वी आर डूइंग इज एडिंग अप। बट वो टिपिंग पॉइंट जो कहता है ना, कि जब वो कर्व ऐसे से ऐसे चले जाए, अगर मैं आप लोग के केस में देखूं कि अगर आप लोग समझो 50 करोड़ के एयूएम पे आज हैं, एंड यू आर स्ट्राइविंग कि आई विल गो टू 200 करोड़ एयूएम, and every day you're making those little decisions, those little effort to try कि ये करता हूँ मैं, वो ट्राई करता हूँ, ये करता हूँ, ताकि आई कैन आई गेट मोर क्लाइंट्स, और कैन फ्रॉम द सेम क्लाइंट आई गेट अ लार्जर शेयर ऑफ वॉलेट, राइट? एंड देन सडनली वन डे समथिंग विल क्लिक, एंड यू विल सी, ओ माय गॉड, आई जस्ट वेंट अप, 50 का 70 80 हो गया। एंड वो जब जो रिकग्नाइजिंग व्हाट हैज क्लिक्ड इन दैट बिल्डिंग फेज इज वेरी क्रिटिकल, बिकॉज जब वो क्लिक होता है यू हैव टू रन। आपको फिर ऐसे दौड़ना है, नींद वींद सब भूल जाओ, खाना वाना सब भूल जाओ, ऐसे बस भागो, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे कुछ क्लिक हुआ है और आपकी टिपिंग पॉइंट आपके सामने है। एंड व्हेन दैट टिपिंग पॉइंट इज देयर, आई मीन, मेक द मोस्ट ऑफ इट। अगर मैं अपनी जर्नी में जाऊं गाइज, यू नो माई ग्लैम मेकअप 2017 अक्टूबर में हमने शुरू किया था। एंड आवर थीसिस वाज कि हमें अपनी वेबसाइट पे ऑर्डर लाना है। सारे जो दूसरे ब्रांड बन रहे थे वो अमेजोन, फ्लिपकार्ट, मिंत्रा, नाइका मार्केट प्लेस पे बेच रहे थे प्राइमरीली, और हम प्राइमरीली अपने वेबसाइट पे बेच रहे थे। एंड वी सेड दैट क्यों, वाई, बिकॉज हम सोचे कि अगर वेबसाइट, मेरे वेबसाइट पे कस्टमर आता है, देन if I have more brands, I can sell more brands to the same customer. I can get a larger share of wallet of the customer, because the customer is mine. I acquired the customer on my website, right? Versus if I'm selling it on Amazon, I don't own the customer, right? I mean, Amazon is a good channel. You should have that channel. I'm not saying don't sell there, but I'm saying I was trying to build it predominantly on my website because I wanted to own the customer. एंड विद दैट थीसिस वी स्टार्टेड 2017 से 2018 हुआ, 18 से 19 हुआ, 19 से 20 हुआ, कोविड आया, कोविड में रेवेन्यू जीरो हो गया बिकॉज यूर नॉन एसेंशियल आइटम। दिस इन द बिल्डिंग फेज was every day, that every day little actions I'm taking. ये चला क्या, वो चला क्या, ये चला क्या, वो चला क्या। In one of those little actions was, जब कोविड हुआ, एंड फंडिंग फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ कोविड में नहीं हो रही थी, वी फाउंड एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू अक्वायर अ कंटेंट कंपनी कॉल्ड पॉप एक्सो, बिकॉज उनकी फंडिंग लास्ट मिनट पुल हो गई थी, बिकॉज इन फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ कोविड में फंडिंग्स वर गेटिंग पुल्ड आउट, एंड वी वर एबल टू बाय देम फॉर अ स्टॉक स्वैप। All the effort that I had put for the 3 years before that, in that moment suddenly clicked. हम लोग डीटीसी कर रहे थे, अपने वेबसाइट पे कर रहे थे। पॉपेक्सो कंटेंट वेबसाइट था, उसके पास लाखों यूजर थे इंस्टाग्राम पे, सोशल मीडिया पे। तो मैं उनके यूजर्स को इंस्टाग्राम से अपने वेबसाइट पे ला रहा था, एंड क्योंकि मैं 3 साल से अपने वेबसाइट पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट कर रहा था, आई वॉज अ मास्टर एट कन्वर्टिंग अ ट्रैफिक कमिंग ऑन टू माई प्लेटफॉर्म, बिकॉज आई वॉज डूइंग इट कंसिस्टेंटली फॉर द लास्ट 3 years. एंड व्हाट पॉपेक्सो प्रोवाइडेड मी वाज फ्री ट्रैफिक। तो मुझे गूगल और मेटा को इतना पैसा देना नहीं पड़ा। आई वॉज ओनली पेइंग द मनी फॉर रीटारगेटिंग, टॉप ऑफ फनल मेरा फ्री हो गया पॉपेक्सो के थ्रू, एंड दैट रिजल्टेड इन हॉकी स्टिक कर्व। Till the time I bought Popexo, I used to acquire 30,000 new customer on my website. And then when Popexo came on, first month was 60,000 new customer. By the third month, it was 1 lakh new customer. By the sixth month, it was 1.5 lakh new customer. एंड तब तक हो गया 2021। 2021 में आप सब थे, आपको पता है क्या हुआ। बाय द टाइम जैन 21 केम और मार्च 21 केम, कैपिटल इतना फ्रीली अवेलेबल था, क्योंकि यूएस ने $4 ट्रिलियन पैसा नोट छाप दिए थे सबको, इंटरेस्ट रेट्स वर एट द लोएस्ट लो, राइट? सो कैपिटल वाज फ्रीली अवेलेबल एंड इन्वेस्टर्स वांटेड टू डिप्लॉय। And so, if you see now what I was talking about, that tipping point, what ended up happening, मैं रोज बिल्ड कर रहा हूँ, कर रहा हूँ, कर रहा हूँ, कर रहा हूँ, कर रहा हूँ। रोज मैं नए नए आइडिया ट्राई करता था, राइट? कि विल दिस वर्क, विल दैट वर्क, विल दिस वर्क। उसमें से एक आइडिया चला, द पॉपेक्सो वाला। It leveraged everything I had built out, a great DTC funnel engine strategy to acquire customer on your own platform. And the numbers went up like this. The graph was literally like this, right? 30, 30, 30, then 60, then 90, then 120, then 1 lakh 50. This is a dream graph for anybody, right? And भगवान की दया, उस टाइम पे 2021 का कैपिटल बूम, तो पैसा फ्रीली अवेलेबल था। सो देन मैं भागा, एंड 6 महीने में मैंने 11 कंपनियां खरीदी, एंड बैक टू बैक फंड रेजेस करे, 4 फंड रेस करे मैंने। लोगों को एक फंड रेस करने में 6 महीना लग जाता है या लंबा, मैंने उस 6 महीने में 11 कंपनी खरीदी, 4 फंड रेस करे, एंड अपनी वैल्यूएशन मैं जब 2021 शुरू करी, मेरी वैल्यूएशन थी $80 मिलियन, $100 मिलियन। When 2021 ended, my valuation was $1.2 billion. And we went from My Glam to Good Glam Group, right? Which became the first, we were actually the first beauty brand unicorn of India. So that is what I mean by recognize. I recognize कि ये content to commerce चला मेरे लिए, PopExo to MyGlam. I recognize कि world was at a place where capital was available. I ran then and acquired more companies to build more brands out. So I get more brands and more content platforms so that I have more traffic and I can double down on the strategy that worked. And in that process, I kept doing fundraisers and increasing my valuation. That is what I meant by recognizing when something has worked for you and you feeling that that's your tipping point and then running like crazy in that period of time. That is what I would say in the building phase, the big lesson, right? Now, the other big lesson. So this is great. This is all the क्या कहते हैं, the happy part of the story, right? What happened after that in 2022? 2022 आई। अच्छा, अब मैं यूनिकॉर्न तो बन गया था, इतना बड़ा फंड रेस किया था, मतलब यूनिकॉर्न बना इत सच अ शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, 6 महीने में गया 100 मिलियन से 1.2 बिलियन, राइट? दिस इज व्हेन मुझे संभाल लेना चाहिए था, बट नहीं, वो घोड़े की रफ्तार वही चल रही थी, तो मैं एक दूसरी एक्विजिशन में पड़ गया। वो एक्विजिशन इंडिया की सबसे बड़ी ब्यूटी एक्विजिशन होती, 3,000 करोड़ रुपए की एक्विजिशन डील थी वो। एंड मैंने सामने से एक दूसरे प्राइवेट इक्विटी से टर्म शीट भी ले आई, हम लोग वैल्यूएशन डिस्कस करें $2 बिलियन के ऊपर की। एंड मेरा इंस्टेड ऑफ यू डूइंग माई फोकस ऑन इंटीग्रेटिंग द 11 कंपनीज दैट आई बॉट, I started to try to run and jump from 1.2 billion to $2 billion using the same playbook, right? Of acquiring, right? And then raising money at a high valuation. अच्छा, उसमें अभी फरवरी में रशिया ने यूक्रेन को इन्वेड कर दिया, तो जो 2021 की कैपिटल बूम थी, पैसा अवेलेबल था, सडनली 2022 में टाइट होने लगा। मेरे 6 महीने चले गए उस डील को करने के पीछे करने के लिए। डील अल्टीमेटली हुई नहीं क्योंकि मार्केट्स इतने खराब हो गए तब तक, राइट, फॉर द स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड। एंड इन दैट टाइम आई मेड सो मेनी मिस्टेक्स, जो मतलब वो जो फ्यूल होता है ना, फ्यूल जो पेट्रोल होती है गाड़ी में, जो गाड़ी को भगाती है, वो गाड़ी को भगाते भगाते, क्योंकि मैं वो गाड़ी पे अटेंशन नहीं करता, गाड़ी इतनी तेज भागी, इट बिकेम फ्यूल फॉर द फायर इंस्टेड ऑफ फ्यूल टू फॉर मोमेंटम, राइट? एंड आई व्हाट मिस्टेक्स आई मेड, मैंने जाके 1,000 एम्प्लॉयज को हायर कर दिया एक क्वार्टर में, 1,000 एम्प्लॉयज इन 1 क्वार्टर। क्यों? क्योंकि आई वॉज ट्राइंग टू डू द अदर एक्विजिशन, rather I should have been focused on integrating what I had bought, right? And not gone and hired. Why I hired so many? I said कि अरे जितने ज्यादा लोग लाऊंगा वो लोग उतना काम करके प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करेंगे। सो फायर्स बढ़ती जा रही थी सब जगह। सो पीएनएल करेक्ट करने में, अच्छा, ग्रोथ ग्रोथ वाज क्रेजी। 2021 में मेरा टर्नओवर था FY21 में 50 करोड़, 2023 में मेरा टर्नओवर था 650 करोड़। क्रेजी, मतलब ऐसा कंज्यूमर कंपनी ग्रोथ, वी आर प्रॉब्ली वन ऑफ द फास्टेस्ट, राइट? But at the same time, the losses were crazy too. I should have focused on fixing unit economics before growing so much. I kept burning money, burning money, burning money. क्यों? Because मुझे लगा कि यार फंडिंग तो आगे जाके मिल जाएगी, और लेट मी कीप द ग्रोथ पाथ, मैं करेक्ट कर लूंगा पीएनएल, एक साल बाद कर लूंगा पीएनएल करेक्ट, इंस्टेड ऑफ करेक्टिंग इट नाउ व्हेन थिंग्स आर टाइटन डाउन। फिर मैंने बैलेंस शीट मिस्टेक्स करी। द बैलेंस शीट मिस्टेक्स वर, आई टुक ऑन कंटिंजेंट लाइबिलिटीज। जो कंपनीज अक्वायर करी, वो कहते हैं ना, जितनी चादर है भैया उतनी ओढ़ो। मैंने क्या किया, कंपनीज अक्वायर करते गया, बट आई केप्ट कंटिंजेंट लाइबिलिटी। मैं पूरा कंपनी नहीं खरीदा, आई बॉट ओनली 51%, 60%। तो बाकी का मुझे उनका पेमेंट करना था, वो पेमेंट्स आई 2024 में, एंड पेमेंट्स बेस्ड ऑन फ्यूचर रेवेन्यू। तो तब तक तो कंपनीज मैंने ही ग्रो करी 3 टाइम्स, तो मुझे वैल्यूएशन भी 3 टाइम्स हायर पे करना पड़ रहा था। अच्छा, इक्विटी मुझे भरपूर मिल रही थी 2021 पे, बट मैंने जाके डेट ले लिया टू रिड्यूस डाइल्यूशन, वो भी 2024 में आया। सो टू मिस्टेक्स, I mean, two very large mistakes. One is on the P&L side, which I could have easily, if I had tried to slow down after I reached that unicorn status, we could have easily managed. Second, on the balance sheet side, where I shouldn't have taken any of these liabilities. इफ आइदर ऑफ देम हैड नॉट हैपेंड ना, अगर मैंने बैलेंस शीट की लाइबिलिटी नहीं ली होती ना, आज हम लोग भी प्री आईपीओ के लिए तैयारी कर रहे होते हैं, या मैंने पीएनएल करेक्ट कर दिया होता 2022 में, इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग आफ्टर द अदर एक्विजिशन, we would have easily been able to raise more money and pay off the liabilities, or not easily, but we would have at least gotten done. And so we would have survived if either of the, but the combination of the two made it very, very hard, right? So breaking stage, so recognizing, you know, and it's very hard guys, ये इतना मुश्किल काम है ना, कि जब आप घोड़े पे सवार हो और घोड़ा ऐसा तेजी से भाग रहा है, टू नो कि थोड़ा सा कैसे इसको मैं स्लो करूं, एंड ये हाइंडसाइट में मुझे लगता है, पता है कैसे हो सकता है ये, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल व्हेन यू आर एंटरप्रेन्योर, यू आर रनिंग, इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू रिकॉग्नाइज व्हेन टू स्लो डाउन, राइट? आई थिंक इट्स पॉसिबल अगर हम सबके पास एक ऐसा मेंटोर हो जिसने फेलियर देखा है। एंड मैं अभी सबको, यू नो, लॉट ऑफ सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स कॉल मी नाउ, सम, यू नो, आई मेट वन एंटरप्रेन्योर रिसेंटली, आप विश्वास नहीं करोगे क्या बंदा है, फरवरी में उसकी वैल्यूएशन 12 मिलियन की थी, अभी नवंबर में उसकी वैल्यूएशन हो गई है 100 मिलियन, मतलब इस वैल्यूएशन इज गॉन अप 8 टाइम्स इन अ मैटर ऑफ 8 मंथ्स, ठीक है? एंड मैंने उससे यही कहा कि भाई, एक बंदा ढूंढ जो आपके पापा का फ्रेंड हो सकता है, मम्मी का फ्रेंड हो सकता है, आपका फ्रेंड हो सकता है, कोई भी हो सकता है, हु यू ट्रस्ट, एंड जिसने फेलियर देखा है, एंड ना, वंस अ मंथ उससे 2 घंटे का लंच कर, इट विल हेल्प यू गेट ग्राउंडेड. So I think it's very hard when you really hit that success and you're growing like crazy to figure out when to slow down. All right. And once you, if you can, I think you can definitely either avoid braking, because then it's not braking, then it is slowing. Right. And वो कहते हैं ना, हाईवे पे, if the car is on full speed and the accident happens, then it's fatal. बट अगर एक्सीडेंट होता भी है और आपकी स्पीड कम है, राइट, इट्स नॉट फेटल, इट्स इंजरी, तो वो ब्रेकिंग से नहीं, वो स्लोइंग हो सकता है, राइट? So I think that is another sort of few insights that I can share, right, in terms of both hard in terms of business lessons and softer in terms of personal lessons of, you know, finding a mentor who's seen failure, right? That that have stayed with me, and that's what I'm trying to impart now to everybody. क्योंकि दूसरी चीज क्या होती है यार, यू डोंट, यू नो, इट्स हार्ड टू हियर दीज थिंग्स फ्रॉम पीपल, हम सबको सक्सेस स्टोरीज बहुत सुनने में मिलता है, राइट? एंड यू नो, आपको पता है, मैं ना लाइफ में, मतलब 5 साल जब मैं सबसे अपने हाई पे था, मैं कभी सोशल मीडिया पे नहीं था, मैं पोस्ट भी नहीं करता था, मैंने 5 साल में पोस्ट नहीं किया। जब मैं फेल हुआ एंड जब मैं रीबिल्डिंग पे आया, देन आई रियलाइज कि इट इज सो, नोबडी टॉक्स अबाउट फेलियर, वी शुड टॉक अबाउट इट ओपनली, इट विल ओनली हेल्प अदर्स। तो मैं सोशल मीडिया पे अभी आया हूँ 3 महीने पहले, so I can share openly with everybody. So I think finding people like that around you who can share in a private space, I think will be very helpful. So I would say these are some of the lessons, at least from building and breaking a myth.
Thank you so much, Darpan. That's really a powerful start for us to start this webinar. Now that we have kind of explored your journey, let's shift the theme that's central to every mutual fund distributor who is there on the call, which is brand and trust. Which is the core of our business. And to take us into that, I would request my friend Anita, to lead this segment. Prem was also supposed to join us, but his flight schedule got haywire. So, Anita, if you can probably take the next section, please.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Amit. And thank you to everyone who's with us listening to Darpan. Darpan, has been fantastic hearing about your journey. I'm so glad you make this point that, failure is the one that really teaches us so many lessons. And thank you for sharing your experiences. You've looked at so many brands, you've come across so many brands, worked on them, built them. Please tell us what differentiates a regular brand from a very strong brand, the one that has presence consistently and builds upon it.
Absolutely, Anita, and thank you for joining us as well, Anita. uh, you know, brand is all about trust, and trust comes from authenticity. अगर and you know, आज की तारीख में ब्रांड्स आर नॉट जस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट्स गाइस, इवन पर्सनल ब्रांड्स। एंड अगर मैं आप सबको देखूं, हमारे सारे जो यहाँ पर म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स हैं, यू आर अ ब्रांड फॉर योर कस्टमर्स, एंड इफ यू आर नॉट, यू शुड बिकम अ ब्रांड फॉर ऑल योर क्लाइंट्स, right? ब्रांड इज जो सबसे सक्सेसफुल ब्रांड होते हैं वो होते हैं कि जहां पर इट्स द मोस्ट ऑथेंटिक। जो ब्रांड कहता है, सोचता है, बोलता है, देता है, इज वेरी ट्रू एंड ऑथेंटिक टू व्हाट द ब्रांड स्टैंड्स फॉर। एंड द बेस्ट ब्रांड्स आर द ones that are built on emotion and not on function. What does that mean? अगर मैं कोई ब्रांड देखूं एंड उस ब्रांड को देख के मेरे अंदर कोई इमोशन जागता है कि whether it's a emotion of love or it's a emotion of happiness, वर्सेस मैं ब्रांड को देखूं एंड मेरे अंदर जो जो जागता है इसकी, ओ इसका फिट अच्छा है, ओ इसके डिजाइन अच्छे हैं, या इसका कलर अच्छा है, दैट इज व्हाट आई कॉल फंक्शनल बेनिफिट। इमोशनल बेनिफिट इज जो इफ इट स्पार्क्स एन इमोशन अंडर यू, and emotions only get sparked when there is a high degree of trust, right? So I would say brand building, and brand building takes time. One of the mistakes, operational mistakes I made in MyGlad was कि I tried to scale too fast too quickly. अब जब वो करते हो तो you end up giving discount क्यों? कस्टमर यू वांट मोर कन्वर्जन फटाफट, राइट? जो आपका ब्रांड का प्रॉमिस था वो भूल के आप ऑफर के बारे में ज्यादा बात करना चालू कर देते हो, आप डील के बारे में ज्यादा बात करना चालू कर देते हो, राइट? एंड देन द कंज्यूमर देन इज नॉट सीइंग यू एज अ ब्रांड दैट ही लव्स एंड ट्रस्ट, बट ही सीज यू एज अ अपॉर्चुनिस्टिक ब्रांड कि हाँ इधर अच्छी डील मिली तो ही मैं जाऊंगा, राइट? एंड सेम सो, एंड जो हमारे यहाँ पे ऑल आवर फ्रेंड्स हुआ देयर, when you build your brand with your clients, you need to reach a point where they are willing to pay a premium to be with you because they trust you and not because they get the best deals from you. Yes, you have to give them very good deal, you have to give them the best advice, you have to give them the best products, ये सब तो of course table stakes है, but ये तो कोई भी दे सकता है ना। बट आप जो उनको दे सकते हो जो कोई दूसरा नहीं दे सकता है वो है ट्रस्ट, राइट? एंड अगर इफ आई ब्रेक ट्रस्ट फॉर यू गाइज, राइट, इफ आई से कि ट्रस्ट कैसे मैं अचीव करूं पर्सनल ब्रांड के लिए, ओके, आई वुड से TRUST, ये 5 लेटर्स को आप देखिए। स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट T, बी ट्रांसपेरेंट। फर्स्ट थिंग ऑफ ट्रस्ट इज बी ट्रांसपेरेंट। सो बी ट्रांसपेरेंट विथ योर क्लाइंट्स, दे नो कि ठीक है यार, ये मतलब इवन इफ यू स्क्रूइंग अप बोल दो ट्रांसपेरेंटली, आई एम स्क्रूइंग अप, राइट? आर अगर आप लोगे, बी रेलेवेंट टू द क्लाइंट, नो व्हाट हिज नीड्स आर, बिकॉज ही इज लाइक ओके दिस गाय गेट्स मी, ही इज ट्रांसपेरेंट, आई नो इज नॉट गोइंग टू बुलशिट मी, एंड वो मुझे कुछ नॉनसेंस नहीं बेचता है, ही अंडरस्टैंड्स मी, ये मेरे अंडरस्टैंडिंग के ऊपर से रेलेवेंसी, ही डिसाइडेड दिस इज रेलेवेंट फॉर मी, तो इसलिए जब ये बात करेगा मैं सुनूंगा, राइट? सो गो फॉर रेलेवेंस। The U, I would say, is utility. You have to be useful to them, of course, right? मतलब अगर आज आप भी कोई ब्रांड के कस्टमर है, unless the brand is not useful to you, why would you eventually continue to be a customer? So whatever information you give them, when it's relevant and it should be useful for them, so that they know that आपकी utility अच्छी है यहाँ। S is simplicity. Boss, be simple, don't overcomplicate things. Everybody likes to understand stuff in a simple one pager, one paragraph, one WhatsApp message. जितना simple communication करोगे उतना easy for him to engage with you. The minute you complicate it, he's disconnected, engagement is gone. And the last is your time consistency. I'll explain to you this. What does that mean? समझिए कि अगर आपके 200 clients हैं, right? You set a cadence कि every week, every Friday मैं उसे ट्रांसपेरेंटली एक बहुत रेलिवेंट यूजफुल पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इन अ सिंपल फॉर्मेट भेजूंगा। इफ यू डू दैट कंसिस्टेंटली, ही विल स्टार्ट एक्सपेक्टिंग इट, एंड देन ही विल स्टार्ट वैल्यूइंग इट, एंड देन ही विल स्टार्ट ट्रस्टिंग यू। सो बी कंसिस्टेंट विथ व्हाट योर द टाइम का कंसिस्टेंसी, बी कंसिस्टेंट विथ हिम ऑन दैट। So, Anita, the answer to your question is spark an emotion, be authentic, build trust. That I think brands that are able to achieve that transcend from functional benefit to a benefit significantly higher than that. And that is when clients stay with you for a long time and pay a premium to be with you.
Very well said, Darpan. So my next question to you would be, since you've explained this so well, if you were to become an MFD and start from zero, what would the first 30 days of brand building look like for you? So you have to
सबसे
remember. So
तो
this has to
सबसे
be
सबसे सबसे पहले तो पहले पहले 4 दिन तो मेरे हमारे यहाँ पर जो 164 भाई बहन आए हैं उनसे मैं सीखूंगा. So I will go and meet all of them and say, please teach me and understand what works for them and doesn't work for them, right? But after that, I would actually, I would use a combination of, I mean, I would try to build a brand using the framework of trust. But अभी उसको execute कैसे करूँ मैं? And for that execution, I would actually bring in some of the tools that I use to build my existing business, right? My old business, right? What are those tools? Today, AI is absolutely incredible. मतलब guys, I really hope आप सब AI पे काम करते हो. इतना easy है. And वो आपके लिए, he can make your life fully, AI can make our lives fully easy, right? So I would use AI to create consistent content. I would use AI to bring consistent research. Okay? And basis that, I would then create a wonderful CRM, right? I would actually use WhatsApp and I would create a WhatsApp bot of myself on WhatsApp. Okay? And that WhatsApp bot is always available for my clients to answer questions. Okay? And with the time consistency, every week, leveraging what I learn from AI and what is relevant for a particular client and useful for him, I would send him information. And what I would do, I would use a ratio of 75-25. 75% of the time, I will send him useful information with no sales pitch in it. 25%, 1 out of 4 message or 1 out of 5 message, I will add a very interesting product that I feel is good for that person. Next, I would come up with some growth hacks. What are growth hacks? अभी आप clients कैसे onboard करते हैं? Personal relationships, friends, family, उनके friends, उनके family. Can I build a referral system on WhatsApp itself, which makes it easy कि मुझे पसंद आया आज समझिए, if we have Amit out there, as a MFD and has clients, and I'm Amit's client, okay? And Amit sends me every Friday, he's sending me every Sunday, he's sending me some amazing research, something relevant for me, something useful. And उसमें मैं लिखता हूँ, hey, forward it to any friends of yours that you think might find it interesting. And in the forward, there is a link to my WhatsApp bot, which will basically say, ki, hey, if you like this and want to get yourself more of these, click here. All happening on WhatsApp in minutes. तो अमित ने उसका फ्राइडे मैसेज भेजा मुझे. आउट ऑफ हिज 4-5 मैसेज, एक मैसेज मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, which I thought that, अरे, last week when I met Anita, we were talking about this topic only. This will be interesting for her. And I forwarded to Anita. I was like, hey, Anita, you might find it interesting. Anita reads it and I said, अरे ये तो अच्छा, ये कहाँ से आया? And नीचे लिखा हुआ है, hey, did you like this? You want to get more of these every week? Click here. Anita clicks on it and Anita gets added to my WhatsApp bot and now to my mailing list. And Anita has just increased my client base has just increased, right? So I would start implementing some of these things. I would do a once a month meetup. मेरे एरिया का जो कैफे कॉफी डे है, राइट, या स्टारबक्स है, वहां पर once a month I would call all my clients. ठीक है, समझो 20 शो अप करते हैं, 40 शो अप करते हैं, ठीक है. And I would try to जो what Amit is doing right now, where he's got a speaker and we're talking about stuff. I would create some event, something useful, where people just start coming and then they start looking forward to it once a month. And वो personal connection और भी deep हो रहा है. And then they can bring their friends. You can tell them, hey, you can bring your friend also to it, and you get more clients. So I would say, I would actually, guys, for all of you out there, you should go and list down what do your clients appreciate the most about you? What qualities? ठीक है, उसमें होगा कि यू गिव देम ग्रेट प्रोडक्ट्स, आपने उनके लिए पैसा बनाया है, यू आर अवेलेबल फॉर देम, यू ट्रस्ट देम, रैंक दोस क्वालिटीज एंड डिसाइड विच आर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. Start building a personal brand around it, because jab and start using AI and CRM, right, to create a very effective communication module with your clients. Once that is set, then you use things like referrals, offline events, and other things to drive more clients and traffic to yourself. So I would use some of these sort of frameworks to get started and build a business for myself.
Excellent. Those were really useful tips. I'm sure our MFDs are taking notes and going to use this in their brand building. You've been speaking of storytelling, and you have spoken about how the distributors should start using AI because it's very simple. It's also very effective. How do you think AI will enable the distributors to hyper personalize storytelling and do it at scale?
I think, the beauty of AI, everybody, यहाँ पर ना एक तो आपके जो आप जो भी आप AI एजेंट यूज करेंगे, दे कीप गेटिंग मोर एंड मोर इंटेलिजेंट द मोर यू टॉक टू देम. एंड आजकल तो आपको टाइप भी नहीं करना, आप बात ही कर सकते हो सीधा. ठीक है. एंड when you the beauty is, if you tell, you can actually just give this exact same instruction. I'll give you an example. You can actually just go and say कि here are my, so आप क्या करोगे, okay, we'll have to break it up. Say you have, let's say hypothetically आपके 50 क्लाइंट हैं. ठीक है. एंड उसमें से दे लाइक 5 डिफरेंट थिंग्स. ठीक है. somebody just likes to get स्टॉक मार्केट का लेटेस्ट न्यूज इन एडिशन टू एमएफ, बट उसको इंटरेस्ट है स्टॉक मार्केट में. ग्रेट वे टू एंगेज ना. आप कुछ बेच नहीं रहे उस टाइम पे, बट ही इज लाइक, अरे आई लव इट, दिस गाय इज गिविंग मी स्टॉक मार्केट स्टफ, आई डोंट नो. तो आपका उसको, दैट्स अ कोहॉर्ट. सो यू क्रिएट कोहॉर्ट्स ऑफ योर कस्टमर्स, राइट, बेसिस देयर इंटरेस्ट. ठीक है. ईच कोहॉर्ट के लिए देन यू गो टू एआई एंड यू से, this is the interest of my customer, this is what I told him last week. Find out, research what is the latest thing going around in this which will be very relevant for them and what can turn into a useful tip. AI कुछ बना के देगा, एंड उसमें अगर आपके कोई आइडियाज है फीड करिए उसमें. ठीक है. AI आपको कुछ बना के देगा, उसको आप फिर और फाइन ट्यून करिए. डोंट टेक ब्लाइंडली व्हाट AI is giving. use AI as a great tool, but what you're saying at scale, all of this guys you can do in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes आपके 5 कोहॉर्ट का कंटेंट स्ट्रेटेजी रेडी हो जाएगा. एंड उस पर आप अपना इनपुट दो, नहीं बट इसमें आई थिंक ये और कर सकते हैं, वो कर सकते हैं, वो आपको ट्विक करके देगा. तो इट्स हाईली पर्सनलाइज्ड विथ योर थॉट प्रोसेस. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस इज द एआई इज लर्निंग ऑल द टाइम. तो जितना आप बात करोगे, बाय द 3rd month तो मतलब एआई आपका कॉन्टेक्स्ट पूरा ऐसे ही जान जाएगा. और एआई आपके क्लाइंट का भी कॉन्टेक्स्ट पूरा जान जाएगा. अरे इफ यू वांट टू टेक इट वन लेवल फर्दर, you can create an agent for each client. That's how easy it is. आपके 50 एजेंट्स होंगे एआई के, विच इज फॉर ईच क्लाइंट. तो जब भी आपका वो क्लाइंट इंटरेक्ट करता है, वो एजेंट में सारा इंफॉर्मेशन जाता है. सो द एजेंट नोज द क्लाइंट बेटर देन इवन द क्लाइंट नोज देमसेल्व्स इन टाइम टू कम. So I think with AI it's limitless. It is just, I'll just tell you guys, simple है. It is just starting the adoption. Overnight हमें सब कुछ नहीं करना है. आप adoption शुरू करो, एक चीज से शुरू करो, and you will see in 3 months it will be at a very different level altogether.
Fantastic. So you said that how AI is really picking up, and it also tends to become intelligent, understand the context. It is generating a lot of content. They're creating videos. You can create your own creatives. In such a case, how does brand building change now for the services industry?
See, brand build, इसका सबसे बड़ा फायदा क्या है guys? You can reach with simplicity and consistency to your client in a very regular fashion with information which is very useful to the person, right? Earlier, if AI was not there, अरे ये बनाने में तो पूरे teams लगते थे. You need a content person जो research करेगा, बनाएगा, graphic बनाएगा, video बनाएगा, and he cannot scale also, he cannot create so many. So the beauty is that with this, brand building is easier because you're able to consistently put out very relevant information to and engage with your clients. So AI will actually help you build your personal brand if you use it correctly in a much faster, and it doesn't even cost major money. That's the beauty, right? Way. So I think AI is making it possible to do brand building because it is generating content for you, not just at scale, but highly personalized to you and your clients also.
Fantastic. Those were really such excellent insights. And that actually also is the next question that I'd like Amit to take over. So, Amit, why don't you please take over the next segment and have Darpan spill some more beans on how our friends can scale up their business?
Thanks, Anita. And Darpan, I think we should have had this webinar for at least 3 hours, the kind of stuff we are talking about. And friends, honestly, we had 6 sections. We are just through with 2 sections. And, it's so interesting. Probably, for the respect of time, and I want to open up for Q&A also. We'll probably skip the other 2 sections and straightway go to the final reflection kind of section. Um, you know, Darpan, if you had to summarize, your philosophy, whatever we have discussed till now, and being business agnostic, because as you said, whether it's an MFT business or it was Good Glam, which is cosmetic, nothing to do with MFT, but a very different kind of business, the core still remains the same, right? How you do that business. So, if you had to summarize, your scaling philosophy in just one line, for our friends over here, what is the takeaway we would like to kind of give it to them, if it is just has to be Darpan's one line of scaling philosophy?
I've never thought.
uh, I
So sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
yeah, you're back.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was just saying कि that's a difficult question क्योंकि one line में, as you can see, मेरा answers one line में होते नहीं है, तो मुझे सोचना पड़ेगा कि इसे one line में कैसे करूं. But I would say that it is, I mean, the biggest challenge is first starting. I have seen most people, 99% people शुरू ही नहीं करते हैं. They don't take the plunge. ठीक है? Once you've started, don't stop. Find a way. Ups and downs are going to be there every day. Find a way. Once you've started the game, find a way to stay in the game. Right? That's it. Stay in the game for as long as you can, because eventually one day your tipping point will come. But if you give up the game halfway through or three-fourth of the way through, टिपिंग पॉइंट कहाँ से आएगा? दुकान खोल के, माय पापा यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज से दैट कि दुकान खोल के रखो, वो धंधा आएगा कभी ना कभी, बट अगर दुकान बंद है तो धंधा तो आएगा ही नहीं कभी, राइट? सो आई वुड से दैट माय फिलॉसफी इज जस्ट स्टेइंग इन द गेम, जस्ट बीइंग देयर एवरी डे एंड कंटिन्यूइंग टू डू इट, एंड वो टाइम आएगा. And that's the hardest part. The hardest part is to stay in the game. So I would say, chalo, Amit, you helped me with the answer today with your difficult question, which is key. My philosophy is just find a way to keep staying in the game. That's it. Everything else will take care of itself then.
I think it's a very, very interesting answer, because the मैंने ये business चालू किया था, and I started meeting with mutual fund distributors. Most of the people whom I met, they say that मेरा aim है, मेरे को 100 crore का EVM करना है या 50 crore का EVM करना है. And I always used to ask them that why do you say so? Why don't you say that मेरे को 10,000 crore का EVM करना है, मेरे को 50,000 crore का EVM करना है? Because India is growing the way it is growing, right? So I think you are right, because हमने खुद ही अगर वो ये पर्सपेक्टिव रखा है कि मेरा दुकान इतना ही चल सकता है, तो ये हो गया तो मैं बंद कर देता हूँ, तो देन देयर इज नो पोटेंशियल फॉर इट टू ग्रो. आई एग्री विथ यू. One mistake every entrepreneur should make, and one they should absolutely avoid.
ये तो करण जोहर का रैपिड फायर राउंड हो गया लगता है.
I
मैं
thought
मैं
Karan
वेल्थ के
being your
अल्फा
dear,
सीरीज में आया हूँ कि कॉफी विद करण पे आया हूँ.
I thought you might be used to, with his last production, so
But
thought we'll wrap it up in that way.
okay, it's a interesting answer. I'm just thinking about it right now. That I think every entrepreneur at some point should run out of money. एक अभी क्वेश्चन था on the chat, I was just saying कि how is life before funding, after funding, etc. Right? And because what that teaches you, whether you run out of money or कि आपके पास पैसा पहले शुरू से था ही नहीं शुरू करने के लिए, but As an entrepreneur, there has to be one time in a life when there is just no money whatsoever. वो जो आपको सिखाता है ना, वो कुछ नहीं सिखा सकता आपको लाइफ में, ना आपका एमबीए, ना आपके सक्सेस, ना आपका फेलियर. वो not having the money is crazy, right? So I think that's one mistake that every entrepreneur should make, because it will teach you so much, right? At the same time, I would say one mistake every entrepreneur should not make is don't run out of money. It is so hard. It is so hard. So if you've run out of money once, make sure you never run out of money again, or you probably will not, right? Ever. Because so yeah, so one mistake every entrepreneur should make: find yourself in a time when you had no money, right? Whether you ran out of it or you never had to start with it. One mistake an entrepreneur should never make is don't let either the success or the failure to go to your head. Just remember, everything is a एक पन्ना है लाइफ का, एक किताब चल रही है. ये किताब का एंड चैप्टर नहीं है कि अगर आप सक्सेसफुल हो गए ये एंड नहीं है आपका, और आप फेल हो गए तो ये एंड नहीं है आपका. So if you go with that attitude, you'll be able to stay in the game. I just have to turn the page. That's it, right? And the page will turn eventually. So don't let either the success or the failure define you or go into your head. Remember, it's all just one page of life. That's it. So I would say that that's probably one mistake no entrepreneur should make.
Fantastic answer. Darpan, I would wait to see someone making a movie on your story. It's so interesting and beautiful. My last question before we open up is, what's the message you would like to give to our MFD friends who are currently on the call or who will be seeing you later on when we share the video, who wants to build a real legacy advisory business for the next decades to come, right? What's the kind of message you would like to give to them to help them to build a legacy advisory business?
I think my first message is आप कर सकते हो. इतना तो मैंने लाइफ में सीखा है कि if you think about it, you want to do it, you will do it. How much time it will take is not in our control, but it will happen. So first अपने दिमाग में make up your mind कि मुझे करना है. Once आपने वो mind make up कर दिया, I think today create टेक्नोलॉजी जो मैं कह रहा था एआई के बारे में एक्सेट्रा जो टूल्स हैं, I think with those tools you can do two things, guys. It's not just getting more clients, but also getting more share of wallet of the same client. आप advisory business कर रहे हो, आपका जब client के साथ trust बन गया है, what was I trying to do in my glam? I acquire the customer on my website with one brand. उसके बाद मैंने उसको brand 2, brand 3, brand 4, brand 5 भी बेचा because I acquired the customer so trusting my platform, right? Similarly, think of yourself as that. Once the customer trusts you and you are delivering for the customer, you have the ability to sell a lot more to the customer as well. So you should think in two ways. One is, how do I get more clients, and how am I able to give more to the customer, and give more to the customer in terms of products, but also in terms of how you can be more useful, where it treats you as a trusted advisor, right? Which was what we were going back to earlier, the communication plan, the trust plan, all of that stuff. So I'd say, guys, India is in a boom for the next 20 years for especially your type of business. You have seen what's happened in the public markets, mutual funds. I mean, all of these instruments are going to be, I mean, Indian retail investors are only waking up, right? So I would say think big as a starting point. What Amit was referring to earlier, कि क्यों 50 crore का AU है, क्यों नहीं 1000 crore का AU है, right? And ठीक है, let's not think unreasonable also, क्योंकि कैसे पहुंचेंगे. Let it be something that you know you can. But I'll guarantee you this. अगर आपने 50 नहीं 500 सोचा ना, by the time आप 350 पे आ गए, आपने तब तक 2000 का भी प्लान बना दिया होगा. तो go with that attitude, and I'm sure you guys will all build a massive legacy advisory business.
Thank you so much, Darpan. With that, I would like to open up, the webinar. Whoever has question, I would request, please raise your hand. I have one hand already raised for some time. Sorry, Ritesh, to keep you on hold. I'll just allow you to talk, Ritesh, and you are already there. If you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Ritesh, you're there? Okay, I believe he has some problem. I think Jyoti has raised, the hand. I'll allow her to talk now.
Am I audible?
Jyoti, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So my question is that for a new founders in the early stage of building the business, when we are trying the different methods, ideas, as you already mentioned, and in the sometimes, like, none of that works. So how do you advise the founders like us to keep going and not to give up on that thing what you're working on? That I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thanks, Jyoti, for your question. And it's a very relevant question because जब मैं कह रहा था staying in the game, यही we all come across those points where we want to give up, correct? And how do you not give up? So first of all, it's all in the mind. आप ये याद रखिए, कि uh, companies, don't shut down because the only reason a company shuts down is because the founder has given up,
Okay.
right? And so it is going to happen that what you try doesn't work because only 1 out of 100 works. But if you keep doing it, trying different things, you will become that 1 out of 100. So my suggestion is that, when you try idea, I had tried so many things before something worked, right?
Mm.
But you have to find a way to keep going. Just it's in your mind. Look, no, it's not just in mind. We have to figure out our financial situation. We have to do all of that planning, correct? कि कैसे करें इसको, कि कैसे कितना पैसा डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं, कितना पैसे का, अगर आप फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप कपल हो, all right, if you're two earning members in a family, I think you're very well positioned for entrepreneurship. One person should be earning with the steady job, let the other person take the risk and build. दैट वे
True.
आप लोग का रनवे इज एक्सटेंडेड सिग्निफिकेंटली. एक कपल में एक पर्सन ऑफेंस खेल रहा है, ऑफेंस इज बिल्डिंग द एंटरप्रेन्योर बिजनेस व्हिच कैन बिकम अ सिक्सर, एंड एक पर्सन डिफेंस खेल रहा है व्हिच इज विद अ स्टडी जॉब दैट ब्रिंग्स द मनी होम टू मेक श्योर कि घर ठीक से चलता रहे. बट व्हाट इफ यू डोंट हैव दैट? then you have to find another way. And those are that is entrepreneurship. We have to keep finding solutions to problems. So I would just say the simple answer to your question is it's in your mind that if it doesn't work, like, it's all right, I'm going to try the next thing and I'm going to try the next thing. 1 in 100 works. If you try 100, yours is work.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jyoti, and thanks, Darpan. I have Mr. Srinivasa. I'm just allowing. Sir, can you go ahead with your
Yeah,
question?
I can go ahead. In fact, I couldn't even shut my mouth. It was wondering what kind of things Darpanji has done so far. Amazing, amazing. No words to praise. One, I'm not a very concept person, but nevertheless, I should ask you this question. Is that when I use AI today, there's something I find it's very fascinating. And as you rightly say that it remembers things which you mentioned about 3 months back. Sometimes I have forgotten that AI remembers. This is the irony part. And that way, it's a great kind of a help for me. One thing I just wanted to find out is that I also impose my kind of personality on that side, that I want to be persuasive, not pushy and things like that. It also it repeats also in every kind of a output I want it gives. One other thing that I want to find out is that sometimes it doesn't give graphics. I think Anita ji mentioned about the graphics part. I do not know how to get graphics out of AI. That is one. This is one question. Second question is a very simple question. Is that in follow-up, I always believe that you should give some value. It's not giving value to somebody who will become your customer. That I think we are supposed to do anyway. But how do you give value before even somebody becomes my customer? He is at the prospect stage, evaluating me and evaluating the opportunity. These are the two questions.
Sir, so actually giving value is where you give him something that is relevant, useful information, and engaging him with an area that is, when I say relevant, means you know what his interest is, right? And then you're giving him value because you could be doing research on AI and then giving him info. You don't need to be an expert on everything, but you need to be a good judge of stuff. So you can see stuff, you can do research on AI, put your judgment on it, and forward it to him. So I think giving good content to them, right? Where he starts seeing ki, chalo, Srinivasa sir is not just trying to sell me things. He really cares about what is important for me. And he's giving me information around that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to build trust. The other
Sure.
one, on how to create graphics and videos on AI. First, sir, whenever you have a question like this, ask your AI. Okay. How do I create videos and graphics using AI? Tell me what the best tools are. Okay, it will give you a step by step guide on how to do it. Okay, the
Thank you.
so and but there are many tools out there, sir, that are available that allow for content creation.
Okay.
Even like on GPT, Sora is there, which is
Yeah.
GPT's own video and image. But some of them can be a little complicated to use. So there are some AI agents that I know that are coming up that allow make it easier for video creation.
Sure.
You have to try a bunch of them out, but best is, sir, ask your AI, it will give you some answers. And you can tell him, keep it, I like simple tools, and that way, and
Right.
it'll give you very relevant.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir, for asking the question. And also, I'd like to add this particular presentation. We have decided we are not going to talk about any products or anything. But on a separate note, we are going to launch exactly what you are asking for in the next 15 days' time. So my team will connect back with you with the solution which you are looking at. I'll try again, allowing Ritesh. Ritesh, you are there? The hand is still raised. Friends, we have a couple of more minutes, so we can take one or two more questions. If anyone wants to raise their hands.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Can I
I
go
think we
ahead?
have. Sir, can you just wait? I have two, three more people. If you can allow them to first ask,
Sure, sure,
because
sure,
I
sure,
just
sure. No problem.
yeah, yeah, Yogesh bhai, I'll just if you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
So good evening. Thank you so much for the talk. It did help at times when you are low. So I would like to know, how do we get clients like you as our customers, and clients like you in the sense, not exactly you, but the profile of clients and family offices where where a normal MFD can pitch them a PMS, or maybe how do we manage their money? How can we reach to that next orbit clients, the HNI clients or the family offices? Thank you so much.
I mean, I love the question, Yogesh, because आप पूरे ambition के साथ you're trying to figure out किसको next stage तक कैसे ले जाऊं मैं यहाँ पर, right? And सर, आपका जो business है, it is based on trust. Trust will come through relationships, correct? I'll give you one very simple way. तो एक तो, if from your existing client base, is there anybody who knows a few HNIs? Then if you do some of these events or these WhatsApp messages, see if it reaches those HNIs, right? Second is, if you don't have that, because that is the best way कि आपके कोई direct connection के साथ आपकी एक entry होती है वहां पर. फिर then you follow the formula that I was talking about, which is you give useful information to him, be in touch with him, don't pitch to him initially, right? But if you don't have direct connect, I would say use that same formula, but on LinkedIn. आप LinkedIn पे identify करिए कौन 100 लोग हैं जो आपको target करना है. When you reach out to them, you don't reach out to them for a mutual fund product or something. Let's say you are reaching out to me, for example, on LinkedIn, right? You will just say, hi, Darpan, you go through my profile and you see my recent activity, what is happening on my posts. Okay. And you try to figure out my interest kya hai. And you reach out to me with some very useful information or a very useful insight, which typically will only be with you. I won't have it. Maybe in the mutual fund business, there is some insight about something that's happening. So you just write, hi, Darpan, how are you? Loved your profile, wanted to connect with you. By the way, do you know, and give some insight. Did you know about this? I may or may not respond to you, right? But if you do it consistently for enough people, you will start getting some response rate. Now take some numbers, sir. समझो आप दिन के 10 लोग को ऐसे मैसेज भेज रहे हैं. Now the message needs to be interesting. That's what you have to work on, right? महीने में आपने भेज दिया, समझो आप 25 दिन आपने ये मैसेज भेजा, आपने महीने में 250 लोगों को भेज दिया है. ये 250 लोग में से समझो 10% ने भी आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करे तो 25 लोग हो गए. 3 महीने में ये 75 HNIs हो गए हैं. ठीक है, आप पहले 2 महीने में आप कोई प्रोडक्ट नहीं बेचोगे, आप उनसे सिर्फ रिलेशनशिप बनाओगे, इंटरेस्टिंग इंसाइट्स दोगे once every 2 weeks, right? And then in 3 to 4 months, you maybe have 100 people who are listening to you regularly. And once you get there, is then when you can try to maybe pitch something interesting to them, maybe some convert. And then your flywheel and loop will start with this community. This is just one idea, sir. I don't know if it's a great idea or not. But मैंने लाइफ में सर मतलब अमित वाज मेंशनिंग सरीना विलियम्स के साथ पार्टनरशिप करी अमेरिका में, इंडिया में इतने बड़े बड़े लोगों के साथ पार्टनरशिप। एक चीज मैंने बस सीखा है कि यू हैव टू रीच आउट एंड ट्राई। फिर वो होता है नहीं होता है भगवान जाने। आज तो रीचिंग आउट के इतने मैकेनिज्म्स है थ्रू लिंक्डइन, उस टाइम पे तो लिंक्डइन विंक्डइन कुछ था नहीं व्हेन आई टू ट्राई टू रीच आउट। तो आई वुड से दिस इज वन ऑफ द वेज दैट यू कुड ट्राई टू डू इट।
Thank
Thanks,
you so much,
Darpan.
sir. Thank you so much. That was insightful.
And I totally agree with you. And Yogesh, my personal experience also is, and you'll be surprised that most of the HNIs, when you talk to them, they say, "हमको कोई reach out ही नहीं करता है." Because what happens is, let's say if today you're managing 25 crore or 50 crore of portfolio, and you want to talk to someone who is already worth 1,000 crores, you in your mind will always feel that boss ये मेरे से क्यों deal करेगा? तो आप उसको reach out ही नहीं करोगे. Which is what Darpan was saying, right? So if you read any of the entrepreneurial books, they will all say that there is no shortcut to this. आपको मेहनत करना ही है. आपको वो जो 25-50 कॉल या मैसेज डालना है वो डालना ही है. So I hope that helps you. As I said, we are all here. In case in later on you want to chat with us. We'll just have last two questions, one from Vikas and one from Bhupati. Vikas, you can go ahead and ask your question. I think Vikas is locked off. I'll just Bhupati, you're there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Hi.
Can you hear me, Amit? Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for the valuable lessons. Sir, just one question. I'm coming from tier 3 city. Like when I try to pitch this mutual fund product, right? So they think most of the time they think like I was looking for a commission, and few of them, right, they say like you lost all the money in stock market, right? So the tier 3 cities booming in India, and in most of them started investing in, right? So how to pitch them, like
Sir, the first thing is don't pitch right away.
okay.
First, make them trust you.
Okay. Yeah.
Give them useful information. Try
Right.
to organize the small meetups or seminars.
Right.
Let them start feeling that Bhupati sir, when he says something, it is very relevant and useful for me. Always remember that. वो जो मैंने आपको फ्रेमवर्क दिया है TRUST का, be transparent, be very relevant, be useful, utility, keep it very simple, and do in a timely, consistent manner. Trust me, guys, if you follow TRUST trust over a period of time, वो अपने आप बनना चालू हो जाएगा. कोई भी इमीडिएटली जाके अगर वो पिच करेगा तो उसका तो रेडार वो ऑलरेडी एज यू सेड स्टॉक मार्केट में अगर किसने पैसा लूज किया है कुछ और किया है तो वो रिलेशनशिप ही नहीं है आज की तारीख में. सो आई वुड से दैट स्टार्ट विद दैट प्लीज.
Yeah. Thanks, sir. Noted. Yeah.
So Darpan, thank you for bringing your honesty, clarity, and immense experience, to this conversation. Your journey, which we heard today, the highs, the setbacks, the reinvention, is truly a masterclass, in resilience, and especially the way kind of you conducted it today. To our entire wealth and Cafe Mutual community of mutual fund distributors, I do hope today gave you not just an inspiration, but practical insights on brand, on client experience, on systems, and on most important thing, on the courage to think bigger. As Darpan said, uh, this is only the beginning of the Wealth Alpha series. This is our first episode, a platform where we continue and will continue to bring voices that would help you to grow, evolve, and lead. Uh, with a clear commitment that, again, as Darpan said, this is not a product selling platform. This is a platform where like-minded people will come together, and we'll all gather once in a month, and we'll get insights from entrepreneurs like Darpan, and we can ask our questions to them. So thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in our next session, which will happen in the new year in January. Thank you so much. Appreciate.
Thank you,
Amit.
everyone. Thanks, Darpan, for doing this for us. Your suggestions and your points were really relevant and so useful. I'm sure our audience have greatly benefited from it. We have, in fact, so many of the points were so valid. I think it's relevant for any business. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Anita. Thank you, Amit. And thank you to the entire community that joined in. I wish everybody the best. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, friends. See you all soon.